Yay, quarter in the envelope.
That's all it says.
That's all it says.
400 tricks you can do.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
And welcome to this month's Tales from the Crap. Ooh, spooky. So we have a lot of books in our library. Lots of books, journals, and
Tons.
Love books because really, what was that phrase?
Oh, if you want no one to know about a magic trick, hide it in a book.
Really, because nobody's going to go digging through a dusty old book with no pictures looking for something. They want instant, they want videos.
They want YouTube.
Yeah. So we have a pretty large library of books.
Probably hundreds.
Yeah. And we dig through these books periodically just to see if we can find something new to put into our show.
New old.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of books in our library, and today we just wanted to pull out a couple of our favorite books because these were actually gifts to us from our patrons. This one is 200 More Tricks You Can Do, and we'll talk about them more in a minute. This was a gift from Erna Very, and this here might look familiar to you if you've been following along on our Patreon. This was a gift to Brian from another patron, Sage Magnus. So thanks guys for these, and we're going to look a little more closely at them today.
If you saw our Did You Know segment earlier this month, we talked about Black Herman a little bit, and this book featured prominently in that. So this was sold at his, after his shows.
Oh, cool. It's merch.
It's merch, yeah. And this book contains some of the latest and best pocket tricks and secrets of the occult uncovered by Black Herman the Magician.
I want to point out this also says Black Herman comes through once every 7 years.
Yeah.
Which is about as often as I come through on anything. So same.
Yeah, I think that was in reference, if I remember reading through the articles that we looked through for Did You Know? That was in reference to how often he came through the towns, which is cool.
That was fun.
This is fascinating. It's Secrets of Magic, Mystery, and Legerdemain. The Missing Keys to Success, Health, and Happiness.
So Black Herman is taken on a lot here with one publication. You know, you've got Magic, Legerdemain, you got Success, Happiness.
It's 4 volumes in one, it claims. There's a preface and a foreword written in 1925 by Professor Black Herman.
I love this line. It says, "The stars imply, they do not compel." That covers his butt.
Yeah, right? Yeah. That's like indemnity clause there, yeah. And a lot of the beginning of this book is just talking about his life and his
Which
feats.
is fascinating.
It's really fascinating.
It's also kind of lies in this book, as we found out. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go watch Did You Know?
Yes.
About this figure.
Volume 2 in this is the study of Legerdemain, and that comes through with a bunch of effects. So we've got a bunch of effects here. Oh, look.
Oh, that's the picture you used,
That's
right?
the picture I used. You have the Black Herman.
It's the graveyard thing.
Yeah.
Weird.
Neat. So today I thought I would perform just one of the effects that are in this book. And it's pretty simple, but this is the kind of thing that Black Herman was selling after his show.
Probably not performing.
Probably not.
In there, but not. I'm not sure he would perform this effect on stage.
No.
But who knows? Maybe he had a cool way to do it.
Right. And I don't think that we're going to, this is not something that we would perform in our shows. But
probably not on stage. We might teach it though. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Teach us some principles about magic, which is cool.
So you have an envelope, and there's nothing in the envelope. And you borrow a quarter, and you place the quarter in the envelope. And it's just that easy. Yay, quarter in the envelope. And you have your participant.
Oh, me. Ooh, hello, I'm participating today.
Yes, you are. Blow on it, just like that. That's what it says in the instructions. And then you open it, and it turns into a penny.
Oh, come on, Brian.
Right.
You just had that penny in there already.
No, I didn't. There's nothing else in here.
Oh, fun.
So that's how that works. Volume 3 is the Mysteries of Astrology.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets a little bit like...
Yeah. So halfway through this book, we get dreams and their interpretations, psychically, psychologically, and numerology.
This is the stuff we're kind of a little less interested in as magicians. That second volume is where it's at, honestly. it kind of peters off.
It does.
I'm not sure if it seems like the whole back end of the book is just this dream dictionary.
To obtain psychic powers, I've been told the most successful method is a circle of concentration method.
That's all it says.
That's all it says.
So if you know what that is, please let us know.
Of course, all of the information is just to give you an idea of the many strange practices followed by some people. Hard to believe, yet who can tell? Black Herman.
So we're also talking today about 200 More Tricks You Can Do by the always wonderful Howard Thurston. If you know Thurston at all, you're probably familiar with his advertising posters because he left a legacy of very cool
fantastic.
I know, I thought I had one
I thought
here.
so too, but it's Carter.
Oh, it's Carter. Okay.
Yeah.
So many magicians in the golden age, so that's like from the end of the 1800s into the 1930s, had awesome advertising, but Thurston went above and beyond. I think we probably used a couple of those for Halloween stuff because it was awesome. So he wrote a book called 200 Tricks You Can Do, right? And then it was so successful that he published another one, 200 More Tricks You Can Do.
I see.
Of which you can tell though that this one, this edition is older. It's one of the original. So this was copyright 1927. So it's about 10 years older than that guy right there. But because eventually this book stopped being published and it was just one big volume called, say it with me now, 400 Tricks You Can Do. They just bound them together into one book and sold it that way. Gotcha. So this one is actually one of the earlier, you can see I have my cards here that are marking things I want to play with and try because these are working books for us. We use them to make new effects. But this one is funny because it has a dedication in it. It says this book belongs to Eugene Walter Burke. And I did a really cursory internet search. So if you guys are really good at that, tracking stuff down, I'd love to hear it if you can find it. But it seems that he was a vaudeville performer of some kind. Notable enough to have one mention in Billboard newspaper when he went into the Marines that said the cowboy singer and vaudeville artist went into the Marines, and he was managed by a guy named Nat Morton, who also seemed to be an amateur magician and vaudeville performer. So it is possible that could be the same person that owned a book like this. That follows for me. But this one has a ton of stuff in it, and it really is, some of them are magic effects. A lot of them are kind of optical illusions, pranks. Not something I would call magic, oh, well, or actually, you know what they are? They're jokes. Yeah. Kind of jokey, I bet this one isn't shorter than that one.
A lot of these classic magicians had books like this. We have also one from Harry Blackstone Jr., which is similar, where it's just 100 tricks, but they're not really magic effects.
There's not 200 magic effects in this book. There's maybe 50 magic effects and then a lot of variations on a theme. Yeah. Still worth looking through, though. I think that these books are really cool, specifically because of their hand-drawn illustrations. Oh, yeah. This is something that we love, especially Brian, because he's our graphic designer. So he uses the inspiration from these books quite a bit, and it's so cool. I mean, this is before there was cut and paste, so it's somebody drew these illustrations, and Brian will edit this so that you can see them up close because they really are really funny. But yes, we do take inspiration from that, and I'm going to perform a little piece from this book right now. Tonight, we're all going to go to the theater to see a show. Everyone's there, right at 8, except these kings who are very late. The Diamond King doesn't stop, comes in through the balcony right up top. The King of Spades is in a rage and startles the actors coming in backstage. The King of Clubs and the King of Hearts come in together before the play starts. The audience waits, the orchestra soars, and the ushers close the doors. But the night won't be complete until each king can find his seat. Now, this would be impossible for you or me, but things are different for royalty. And so when the curtains part for the very first scene, each king rests easy beside his queen. So a lot of the time with these books, we don't take the effect whole cloth from the book. So in this case, the idea is in the book, and then I made up a little patter, a little poem story to go along with it. Not something, again, we'd perform in a show, but it is something that we use to get students thinking about the concept of narrative magic or storytelling with magic.
And as always, we want to thank our patrons who support this channel on Patreon.
Thank you so much, especially to Erna and Sage, who literally made this Tales from the Crap happen. So thanks, guys.
Thank you. And if you would like to join us on Patreon, you can follow the link up here, patreon.com/encountermagic.
Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, this library edition of Tales from the Crap.
Let's just do the intro. Thank you. So great. Now it's on
You
you.
look like you're a silver fox today.
Hey.
How many of those did I give you? Brian and I like symmetry on the table.
Yep. Wait.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. Ah, better.